What's going on, boys and girls? It's your boy Lazy Lightsaber back at it again for another one. I know it's been a little while, but there's two stories that I was kind of waiting for it to drop completely before I report on them. And now that they have, we are ready to roll. Before I get right into it real quick, let me give a quick shout out to the Goods on YouTube. He does NBA 2K modding content. When it comes to that, he's on top of his game. Great content. His channel will be linked in the description below, so go check him out when you get the chance. Don't forget as well to follow your boy on @LazyLightsaber. That's on Twitter @LazyLightsaber. But let's get right into it. Let's get started on this crazy madness that's been going on. And so we just talked about 2K. Let's go right into 2K. So 2K basically said that their new Series X and PlayStation 5 games that are coming out will be costing $70. So, you know, we're used to paying $60 right now. And I believe as far back as I can remember, games were around that $60 mark, you know. Even games on the Nintendo 64 and games on the Super Nintendo were at times, you know, between $50 to $60 depending on the game. But why is this groundbreaking, right? Why are people complaining that a game will cost $70? Simply because, first of all, it's $10 more. And are you really getting more content for those $10? I mean, you're putting in $10 of your own cash into this game, and you're getting what essentially is sometimes an incomplete game, because there's people that, you know, will pour money into a game like 2K, you know, to build their roster up and get all the different things. They're called whales, you know, but we'll go ahead and show a little respect for these whales. And for this video, we'll just call them high rollers. So these high rollers come in and basically drop thousands of dollars in microtransactions on these games. So I'm gonna give you a quick example. If you buy a complete game, a non-2K, EA, Activision, none of those crazy companies. If you buy, let's say, a Final Fantasy game, or a Zelda game, or a Mario game even, these games you pay $60, but you get the complete package. They're not gonna be nickel and diming you with the microtransactions. If that's the type of kind of scheme that you're going for, then what you really need to do is go ahead and just make this game free to play, like Fortnite, where people are paying, you know, X amount of money to buy certain costumes, certain weapons, you know, to have your character look however you want your character to look. So if that's what you're gonna be doing, then you need to be straight up and just post it for free, instead of charging people $60 now, $70 in the future, and in the back end, tax motherfuckers with microtransactions. And for those people that are spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on microtransactions for NBA 2K, just straight up, you're a straight up sucker. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna be spending that much money on no goddamn game. You got me fucked up. So the fact that 2K is gonna start selling their game for $70 fucking bucks is bullshit. To be honest, these are roster updates at the end of the day. I mean, it can only make the graphics look so good on each generation. You know, the PS5 is only gonna look as good as the limitations that the PS5 has. Switch, same thing, and Xbox Series X, same situation. So essentially, when you're buying a new version of these games, what you're buying is basically a roster update. And $70 for me, fuck that. I am not gonna pay for a roster update. Now, I own 2K18 on the Switch, and that is the last 2K game I ever bought. Shit, it's the first and last 2K game I ever bought. Yeah, I enjoyed it for a little bit. I played it from time to time, you know, but it's something that I rarely play, and I don't justify anybody spending that money. And if you have, you know, if you were like me, just don't fucking buy the game, dude. Don't even waste your time. Don't buy the game, you know, or wait, because 2 months after the game releases for $70, you're gonna be able to buy it online for $10. That's what happens. I actually bought 2K18 like for $10, literally on the Switch eShop, they had a sale. It was like 12 or 13 bucks total, I think, with tax and everything. And I had the game, you know. So think about these things before you go ahead and buy things, you know, buy these games that are taxed. And there's a second part to that as well. So now that one company is doing it, there's going to be other companies that are going to follow suit. Oh, let's see. Do people actually go out and buy it? Well, it's 2K, so people are going to go out and buy it, unfortunately, in large numbers. So now you're going to have, you know, other companies like EA and Platinum Games and Ubisoft and Square Enix, and I can go forever. And they're going to start selling their games at $70. And at the end of the day, that hurts the consumer, because essentially these companies that are making these games that are half-ass games, you know, are going to be selling garbage for more. So you're basically getting less and you're paying more. So these companies are saying, oh, but it just costs so much more to make money. What are you talking about? Like the PS4 and the Switch and the Xbox and the new PS5 and the new Xbox Series X are some of the easiest consoles that they said themselves. They're the easiest consoles to make games for. So which one is it? Well, what they're gonna do is tax more money up front to get more money to promote these games for a PR, you know, campaign and commercials for the game, and then make the game look good so more people can buy it. So at the end of the day, I think it's just a quick cash grab from these companies. My thing is, vote with your wallet. If you don't fucking agree with this shit, just don't buy it, straight up. The second thing is, with this, like I said, there are games that people will pay $70 for. And I'm talking about good games even. So like me, I'm a Zelda dude. I love Zelda. Call me a fanboy if you want to talk and give a shit. But if Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 released on the Nintendo Switch whenever that game is coming out, which we'll get to that game in a minute, when it releases, it's $70. I'm probably gonna buy it. So for every person, there is a game out there that's worth $70. So I think that's the trend that we're going in. I think games will eventually get to cost that much. It sucks. It really does, because I'll just wait till a bunch of sales drops, or I'm going to be paying $70 for certain games. So anyways, switching over now to Zelda Breath of the Wild. So a report came out saying that the Zelda Breath of the Wild voice actors had completed the voice acting for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which basically, it exploded. This thing exploded all over the web. It was on Twitter, it was on Google, Bing, whatever search engine you use. If you was clicking on game news, it was coming out. So the voice actors for the Spanish version of the game went on a podcast in Spain and apparently stated that, oh, the voice acting was done, and basically people were like, oh man, if the voice acting is done, then that basically means the game is about to come out. Well, it turns out that the Spanish news outlet was actually translated incorrectly, and then the news was reported incorrectly. They never mentioned that. It kind of sucks that I didn't jump on this news when it first came out, because I do speak Spanish, so I could have heard the actual podcast and then given you guys the facts. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the news quick enough, and it, you know, everything had came out already that basically the game, but that was not true, that these people did not confirm that the podcast, they didn't state that at all, that the game was finished. They can't even talk about it, right? Because they all signed those license agreements that say you shut the hell up. You can't even confirm that you're doing the voice acting for 2. You just don't even talk about it at all. And these people are not going to do that. So I found it kind of funny when I heard the whole thing. But once I realized the whole story and that it was leaked, it was leaked out. Excuse me. That's fake news, dude. And the one thing that you got to do, if you're going to report a little bit of news, and these were big sites, credible sites that were reporting this type of shit, and some not so credible sites either. But you know, at least try to dig in some information, or reserve, you know, putting that out there, because you're essentially sending out fake news that wasn't the case. These people are nowhere near finished, or maybe they are, but they just don't want to say it. I honestly think that people are just so thirsty for Breath of the Wild 2 sequel news that they will jump on any little thing without even looking into the facts, just to be the one to put the story out first. Because if I had the story out first, then I get all the clout from that, all the clicks, all the views, and that's cool. You know, we all want the clicks and views. That's all fun and dandy, but you gotta provide the facts, you know. And that's basically what I'm gonna say with that. Just don't click on anything just because people say it is. Do a little bit of research yourself. Me personally, I don't think Breath of the Wild is gonna come out this year. I think because of the whole COVID thing, it did delay. I think they may have plans or had plans to possibly release that game, because they did state they were going to release a Zelda game every single year. And I did a video on that as well. You can go check it out on the channel. But they haven't, at least this year, that hasn't came through. So I don't know if they're going to do some type of remake, maybe like a Wind Waker HD for the Switch, or you know, Twilight Princess ported over to the Switch, something like that. But if Zelda Breath of the Wild doesn't come out, you know, the sequel doesn't come out this year, then we're probably not going to get a Zelda game this year, and that's what's just, you know, that's just kind of what it is. And I personally think if that game was going to come out this year, it already would have announced. They would have came out with the date. There would be so many commercials. There will be so many ads for the game. I mean, this is a huge Nintendo title. One of the most anticipated games of Nintendo right now is Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Everybody is craving for it. So much so that we got a little bit of fake news and people ran with the story. But I don't think that you know, game is going to come out this year. We'll see if we get a direct later this summer. They may show a little bit of it. But again, I don't think it is scheduled for 2020. Anyways, that's the news roundup today in regards to the Nintendo Switch, and I even gave you some 2K stuff there. Don't forget to check your boy out. That's at Lazy Lightsaber on Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And as always, you guys take care. Peace out. With